The Krillian war merchant towered over Jessica, his forearms spread wide in a gesture of dominance. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the harsh lights of the trading post, and his mandibles clicked with amusement as he examined the small blade in her hand. "What can you do with that knife?" he laughed, the sound echoing through the crowded marketplace. Other aliens turned to watch, Phyrexians with their crystalline skin, floating Netheri, and dozens of species Jessica couldn't name. They all shared the same expression, curiosity tinged with pity for the fragile human. Jessica said nothing. Her fingers adjusted slightly on the handle of her combat knife, a weapon forged on Earth from carbon steel. To the galaxy's advanced civilizations, it was prehistoric. A relic. The Krillian had made a mistake 3 hours earlier. He'd taken James. Her partner, her friend, her fellow salvager had been dragged into the back corridors of the station after a deal went wrong. The Krillian syndicate didn't appreciate humans poking around derelict ships in their territory, even if those ships had been abandoned for centuries. "The human female asks about her mate," the merchant announced to his guards, 2 hulking creatures bred specifically for combat. "She carries a metal sliver and thinks herself dangerous." More laughter rippled through the crowd. Humans were known throughout the galaxy as the species that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel, the newcomers who had stumbled into a cosmos already carved up by ancient empires. They were weak, their lifespans brief, their technology laughable. Jessica's eyes never left the Krillian. She had learned long ago that among predators, hesitation meant death. Earth had taught humanity that lesson for millions of years. "Last chance," she said quietly. "Release James, walk away." The merchant's laughter doubled. He gestured to his guards, and they moved forward with the confidence of beings who had crushed dozens of species beneath their boots. Jessica moved. Her knife found the first guard's neural cluster. Before his brain registered, she had stepped forward. Humans were slow by galactic standards, but evolution had given them something else: the ability to track motion, to predict trajectories, to throw projectiles with deadly accuracy. She had studied anatomy of 17 species during her 6 years in space. The guard collapsed, and she was already turning, using his falling body as a shield against the second guard's plasma blast. The shot went wide, melting a hole in a merchant's stall. Aliens scattered, screaming in languages she didn't understand. The second guard swung a massive fist. Jessica didn't try to block it, she couldn't. Instead, she flowed like water, letting the blow pass close enough to feel the air displacement. Her knife traced a line across the guard's arm, severing the main hydraulic tendon that controlled the limb in that species. The Krillian merchant's laughter had died. He was reaching for his own weapon now, a plasma pistol that could vaporize her in an instant. But Jessica had fought in Earth's resource wars before leaving the planet. She knew what humans did best. They adapted. They improvised. They refused to die. She grabbed a metal serving tray from a nearby food stall and hurled it. The merchant fired, but the blast deflected off the makeshift shield, exploding a support beam above. The merchant had to dodge falling debris, and in that fraction of a second, Jessica closed the distance. Her knife found the gap in his exoskeleton, the vulnerable joint where neck met torso. It was a precision strike, honed by humanity's ancient need to bring down prey larger and stronger than themselves. The merchant staggered back, purple blood flowing. "Impossible," he gurgled. "You're just human." "Exactly," Jessica said, driving the blade deeper. "We're human." She twisted the knife and stepped back, letting him fall. The marketplace had gone silent. 2 guards down. The merchant dying. All of it done with a primitive blade and the biomechanics of a species that had clawed its way up from Earth's unforgiving surface. Jessica didn't waste time savoring the moment. She moved through the back corridors, her knife ready, following the trail to where they'd taken James. She found him in a storage room, beaten but alive, shackled to the wall. "Took you long enough," James coughed, managing a weak smile. "Traffic was terrible," she replied, using the merchant's plasma pistol to blast his restraints apart. As they made their way back through the station, aliens pressed themselves against walls, giving them a wide berth. Word had spread quickly. A human with a knife had taken down a Krillian war merchant and his guards. By the time they reached their ship, the station's communication channels were buzzing. Jessica could hear the translations through her comm device. Never underestimate humans. They evolved as persistence hunters. They're slow, but they never stop. Their planet tried to kill them for millions of years. They're not soft. They're survivors. James slumped into the co-pilot's seat as Jessica fired up the engines. "You could have used a gun," he said. Jessica looked at the knife in her hand, still stained with purple blood. "I could have," she agreed. "But I wanted to make a point." "What point?" She smiled as their ship pulled away from the station, heading back into the vast darkness of space. "That humanity doesn't need their advanced technology to be dangerous. We brought something more valuable from Earth: the will to survive, the creativity to adapt, and the memory of every predator our ancestors faced." James nodded slowly.
Humanity, fuck yeah.
Exactly. Behind them, the trading post grew smaller, but the legend would grow larger. The story of a human woman with nothing but a knife who had reminded the galaxy why predators should never corner prey, that had spent eons learning to fight back. In the cold mathematics of galactic power, humans were insignificant, but in the art of survival, they were masters forged in Earth's crucible, and the galaxy was only beginning to understand what that meant.